Hello, y'all. I am Diana Brienne, and I am going to give a few minutes to see if anyone comes on. And hello, Lulu and Laura, vloggers. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, JB. How are you doing today? I um, I just got in from my 5 mile run, and I have to tell you, it is hot, hot, hot. There was one person out there, it was a young guy who was running. And as y'all know, I'm 63 years old, and I was out there running. I'm out there every single day unless there's a huge thunderstorm, but even rain doesn't stop me. So I'm out there every day. Welcome, Renee Unrated. Let me go over here and 98 in Boston. Woo, that is hot for Boston. Let me go over here and share this out. And I'm going to share it out to my YouTube or to my Facebook pages. As y'all know, I have two Facebook pages. One is called Diana Brienne Fairchild, Everyday Words of Wisdom, and it has about 11,000 friends on there. And then I have a Facebook personal page, which normally is maxed out. I usually try to keep it a couple under so that old time friends can friend request me. And if it maxes out, they can't friend request me. So happy camper, welcome, welcome. Thank you. And thank you for your comment this morning. You know what, Renee, I didn't really invite, I didn't tell my normal crew that I'm coming on. So, I'm kind of keeping an eye on my chat, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I want to really talk about the live stream. And hey, Brenda, are you coming up with me today, Brenda? Let me go share this out before we get started. And I am so happy to see you all here. And it's wonderful on this wonderful Sunday. So let me go over here. And then I share it out in a couple places. And let me see, it's not coming live. Oh, there we are, I guess. Yeah, there we are. And if you will, I would appreciate if you can share me out. If you would like to do that, you don't have to be here, but I would love it if you did. And oops, I just lost it again. How did I do that? And my whole family's home today. They don't like to come in the kitchen when this is the kitchen. They don't like to come in the kitchen when I'm streaming. So, but you may see them. Let's see, live streaming. Okay, got that one. And I'm going to do two more here in hopes that a few people will like to join us. Live streaming now. So if you want to share me out, you just click the little share button and you put in their live stream, and it will go out to all your friends. And if they want to come on over, they're welcome to. Let's see, backwards. Okay. So, I always go on to anyone's channel that I know, and I share them out as soon as I come on. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, I am back. This has been new again for me to come live streaming. I live streamed over on Facebook for a long time. And then, as y'all know, I started here on YouTube publicly 6 months ago. And my channel grew very, very fast. And so I decided to do live streaming again. And when I went live streaming, there's so many things I had to learn. Number one, people don't know I'm on, or there's like 20 different people on at the same time that I know. And so it's kind of hard to time it. The Happy Camper says, when you have time on this or some other time, I have something I want to share with you. I'll be sharing you out to my Facebook. Have no idea how to do it in any place else. Thank you so much, Happy Camper. Happy Camper, when you share, all you have, thank you, Brenda. Thank you so much. Zaya, welcome. Thank you. Zaya, I'm doing really good. Really good. Thank you. And I hope you are too. When you share, you just click the share button. And the first thing that's going to pop up is a little box with a red a little red thing, and you don't have to click on any box below that when you share it with YouTube. All you do is just like write live stream in there, and it will go out. It will go out to all the people on YouTube, unless you designate it to Facebook or someplace else, and you can go back and do that too. So I share it out to everybody. I share, how I do it is I have to have been on someone's live stream at least one time to determine if it's shareable or not, because not all live streams am I going to share out. But I share people out that I know, that I'm familiar with, that I go to regularly, and I immediately share them out. Because what happens when you share them out, the little box appears in your friend's feed, and then they have the opportunity to come on over, and that helps the host of whoever channel you're on to build their channel as well. And if it's a great channel, you want to share it out with your friends. And it's so easy to do. It doesn't cost anything, and it's just a nice common courtesy when you do that for someone. So I just want to thank you, Happy Camper. Thank you so much. And I would, whatever you want to share with me, if it's personal, then you might want to do it through Facebook or something like that. It depends. I wanted to come on here today. Well, first of all, I just finished the 5-mile run. And, some days I go, oh my gosh, can I make it through this? Because number one, I'd hurt my foot 6 months ago, and I hurt it in the middle of the night on a piece of furniture. Well, I've had some problems with it. I've been to the foot doctor and all that, and it's pretty well, good. But sometimes it bothers me a little bit, but I'm out there, whether I'm hobbling or running or whatever in the 100-degree weather. And so it's not only, it's only giving me the icons for every social media there is, but YouTube. Yes, it won't give you the YouTube. So all you have to do is go to that little box and you put live stream in. And when you put live stream in, you don't have to click on any of the bottom boxes. You just click the red button and it will go out. It will go out, Happy Camper. It will. And so, yeah, I get out there, and I believe in physical fitness. I believe in taking care of my health. I believe in taking care of my body. And at 63 years old, I would say that half of my friends are dead. And the other half, probably 3/4, are broken. And I just take really, really great care of myself. Dutch off-grid homesteading. Welcome, welcome. And so I take care of me. Number one, I rest. And one of the things I think is the biggest fault of most people is that they're not rested. They're tired. And when we're tired, we make mistakes and we have accidents and all kinds of things happen. And we also don't enjoy things as much when we're tired. So what I started doing about, I don't know, a couple of months ago, Jimbo, welcome, welcome, welcome. I started sleeping in an extra hour. And I do that purposefully so that I'm rested. So I can do all the things that I do during the day, which 5-mile run, go to the gym. I work out at the gym. I do an hour on the elliptical at a high level. I do aerobics. I do all kinds of stuff. And I'm a mom of 3 young adult kids. I'm a wife. I'm, do many, many things. I'm an artist. So for me to do those things, I have to be rested. So rest is my number one weapon, is sleep and rest. Number two, I don't overload myself anymore like when I was younger. I let other people help me. And if there's dishes to be emptied out of the dishwasher, one of my sons usually do that, And so I ask other people for help. And Gigi, welcome, Gigi. I am so happy you're here. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And so basically, take care of your body. Then comes what I eat and what I don't eat. If you are putting garbage in your body, you really need to stop it, because garbage will eventually, cause a lot of problems. If you put garbage in your car, it's going to break down pretty quick. So people put garbage in their body for years and years. So I'm very selective about what I eat. I drink a lot of water, and I just keep a very, very positive attitude. My channel is about positivity. It's about living your best life. It's not denying negativity. It's understanding negativity so that you can create a positive lifestyle. I talk about just about every negative topic that you can think of. And I've got 5,000 videos. And how I got 5,000 was I started 10 years ago for family and friends only, but they were public videos that were never tagged and never titled. They were only for family and friends, but they were public. So if you go back, you'll see all these videos, about 5,000, on different wisdom subjects of every kind. Most of them are about a minute long. And then in January, when I came public, I started 5-minute videos, and I do about 5 of those a day, different topics. And then just more recent, I'm back to doing lives again. So how long I'll be able to do the lives, I do not know, because I'm a full-time college student at age 63, and I'm taking legal classes, and it's very, very hard and very heavy. I took summer classes. My summer session just ended, and fall classes don't start till mid-August. And I'm very proud, not prideful, but very proud that a 63-year-old woman could go back to college. My grades for the summer were 3 hard courses. That was full-time, considered full-time because they were concentrated, and very hard classes. I got a 99.6 because it changed. I got my new grades yesterday because it was different the day before, and a 99.2 and a 98. I think it was a 98.1 or 2. So my grades were excellent, but it took a lot of work, took a lot of focus, and it's going to take that because I'm taking very, very heavy courses come August. So I don't know how much I'll be on live. I will do my daily videos though. So anyhow, I wanted to come on here today, and hello, Garita, welcome. Jimbo says we do need to spread positive vibes these days on social media. A lot of people are hurting. You are so right, Jim, so right. So many people are hurting in life, and our society is hurting, and people are scared, and people, thank you, Brenda, and people are scared, and so we're here to spread a positive message. I'm not a bickering channel. I'm not a political channel. I do discuss politics, but I do that on my other social media. I don't do it here, not on YouTube. This is a non-political channel, and we're respectful of everybody. Welcome, Tito, welcome. And, so we don't discuss politics. We don't discuss divisive topics. We never diminish another person. And if people want that, there's other channels for that. There's a lot of bickering channels. There's a lot of political channels. There's a lot of all kinds of channels out there. And so a lot of different kinds of channels. Okay, as soon as I get a mod in here, Brenda, are you a mod? I think Brenda can drop your link for you. Brenda can drop it for you. Brenda, would you drop anyone's links that would like their links dropped? Garita would like her link dropped, or his link dropped. I don't know, Garita, I don't know whether you're a man or a woman. I don't know. I think you're a woman, right? I'm sorry. I'm just getting to know you. And Jimbo says, I try to share a lot of positive message on my Facebook. Yes. And thank you, Tito. Thank you. And Music is here. Welcome, Music. It's great to see you. Thank you. Music is one of my first friends when I came public. And Music has been on my channel since I had probably 200 friends. And now I'm well over 7,000 in 6 months. And thank you, Garita. And so it did grow very, very quickly. And I attribute that to my 5-minute videos, 5 of them a day. I'm very subject oriented, and I keep it short and sweet. And people know what to expect. They don't know what topic they're going to get, but they do know that it'll be a comfort topic. and a wisdom topic. And so I come on here, and that's how I built my audience, or not my audience, my friendships. You know, I don't call people subscribers because I think that's rude. Nakin, welcome. Nakin Shop has a great channel. You will love Nakin Shop's channel. Thank you, Renee. Thank you. Renee, it's Diana Brienne Fairchild, Everyday Words of Wisdom. The issue, one of the reasons I moved from Facebook, and I'm still Facebook, I'm still very active there, but I'm focused on YouTube. One of the reasons I moved from Facebook over to here was my channel, my page, Everyday Words of Wisdom, was 12,000 friends. And I had this huge going back and forth. You know, it was great. It was just so many great comments and so much great interaction. Then Facebook decided that they were going to change the rules and how it had to be, as anyone had to click on follow first. And if you did not click follow first, unless you had under 200 subscribers or 200 friends, you would not see the posting. So all of a sudden, my channel, my page over there, went from thousands of comments down to a trickle. And because people didn't know that, they didn't know that, and they didn't know to come back. And most people still don't know that they need to click follow first. And so I was very disillusioned. I called Facebook. They called me back, you know, many times. They did call me back, actually. They called me back a lot. But they couldn't really do anything about it. They said that was a new rule that was put in place. And so I got very frustrated. And so most of what I do is on my personal page, but I put all my videos out, many postings out on the Everyday Words of Wisdom anyhow. It's a way people can message me. And, you know, so if you want to message me, you can message me through Everyday Words of Wisdom, and I check that pretty often. So yeah, so take care of you and take care of your body, take care of your relationships. You know, people get married or they have kids or they have family, and they just treat their relationships like garbage. And no wonder they have problems in their relationships. You know, you can bring back life in your relationships if you work hard enough at it, but you got to work hard. I've been married 30 years, and I work at it every day. I work at it every day. It's not always easy, but I work at it every day. And we have a very, very happy marriage. And we respect each other. We let each other be who we are. And we have fun together. Have a lot of fun in your relationships. Bring back fun, and you will stay young. Philippine Islands, welcome, welcome, welcome to you. As soon as I put my glasses on, I will read your comments. Number one, my glasses fall off of me when I'm talking. So that's why I take them off for a little bit. So I want to talk today about your channels and going live stream. And, you know, I talk a lot about different things. I talk about, you know, how important it is to address and talk to the people who are in the stream and not make it all about you, because really you're interacting with everybody. You're interacting, okay? You're coming on here, and I see it so often that the host does not interact with the stream. And when they do that, they lose their people. They lose their friends, because now they're not friends anymore. They're subscribers, and that makes it impersonal. And everybody on here is a friend, okay? And so I just feel that it's important to acknowledge the people who come in. And hello, Sissy Host, first time in your from Washington State. Oops, it just moved up on me. Let me see. Ania, welcome, welcome. Love your painting. Thank you. Saw you from the other live stream. Thank you so much, Milo. I appreciate you. Shout out is from Jimbo. And I've been very busy at work. Jimbo says, and Anaya says, hello, Cheeto Gray. I'm hot right now. It's hot for all of us. So I want to talk about your, you know, if you're doing live streams. So that was my number one rule, but it's not my number one rule anymore. Okay, I have a new number one rule. Okay. And it's a rule that I think is the host, me, in this situation, is responsible for. We are responsible for controlling our channel, unapologetic. And I have to tell you, and I'm not going to tell you when it happened, but it happened a while back. I had my live stream. Well, I'll tell you a story about another live stream first. I was on another live stream, and these two guys went at it, and it was brutal. And the host just let them go at it, and it was more than just bickering or arguing. It was demeaning, and I was stunned that the host would leave it going. I guess it got more views. Some people like that, but I didn't, and I left. I just had little respect for that particular live stream. I had no respect for that live stream, actually. So I learned a very valuable lesson. What would I do had I been in that situation? And what I would have done is I would have immediately blocked both of them. I'd not blocked them, but I would have put them out of the panel. They would not be up on the stream to argue. And if they continued their argument in the stream, I would have pulled them out. So this is my number one rule, is as a host, you unapologetically determine what the rules are. And the rules on my stream are, you must be respectful to everyone, whether they are in the stream or whether they are on the panel. I don't tolerate any kind of divisive conversation. That's not that I'm not realistic, but this is not the place for it. There are other channels for that. Okay. And so I'm here to help people, to inspire people to live their best life, not to be divisive. And so Mia Kai, welcome to you. Thank you for coming. And so basically, I did a live stream, and I had no mods at the time, so that's why I'm watching this closely. I had no mods, and everything was going along just fine. And then suddenly one of the people just kind of said some things really quick. I think they thought they were being funny, and it wasn't funny, and it was directed towards one of the people who were wonderful on my panel. I would have rather it had been directed at me, but what I did is I didn't explain. I didn't think about it. Off they went. Off they went. I immediately got them off. I didn't say, I'm taking you off or please stop it. I took them off unapologetically. And I'm not mad at them. I'm not anything like that. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they'll come back up on my panel again in the future. But the rules are total respect towards each other. You can have differences of opinion, but you must be respectful 1000% to each other in my streams and up on my panel. And so it's the host, me, responsibility. Now, Juan, welcome to you. Thank you for coming. Now, I did everything right. I felt terrible for the person that they were directing it to. I felt terrible. Oh my gosh, I felt terrible, but they were very gracious, but I felt terrible. And so what I did is I ended up taking that stream down. I just completely deleted it. Lost watch time and everything, but I deleted that. I didn't want that up there. I didn't want to embarrass anybody. And now there's two things that I could have done. I did the right thing. So I had nothing to apologize for. So what I did is I didn't even deal with the issue on that live stream because I didn't want to bring attention to that issue. And we just went right along. We went right along. And I think that was the best way I handled it. Now, had I left the person up there and they continued on, then I would have had something to apologize for, in my opinion. Because my channel is not about that. My channel is not about that. So you have to decide, what is your channel about? And if you want it to be a bickering channel, or a bashing channel, as I call it, then you're welcome to do that. Then that's your rules. That's your house. You can do that. But when you're entering into someone else's house, out of respect, you need to go by their rules. Okay? Aunt Yana, I asked Yana, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you. So, you know, when we go to another country, we have to abide by their rules while we're there. So when you go to someone else's YouTube channel, Facebook page, wherever, you need to abide by their rules, because you're in their house. And they have a right to determine what the rules are, as long as they're fair. And my rules are very easy. They're very fair. We don't diminish, and we don't put down anyone, and we don't, you know, use certain language or anything like that. And the moment if I were to see it, I immediately, the person is gone from the screen and possibly the stream. And, you know, I could have let it stop me from bringing up new people that I was unfamiliar with. And part of my channel is bringing up new people, you know, people that come on and say, hey, I want to come up too. And I will say that my approach is a little bit different now. I let people know beforehand if they're new to coming up, what I expect and what I don't expect. And number two, I kind of look at who they are. Usually I've seen their channel, whatever, you know, beforehand, before I bring them up. But there are often people that I bring up that I'm not familiar with, and I let them introduce themselves. So I don't want to stop that. But if in a split second I determine something's out of place, they're off the screen, at least until I can determine if it's okay. And if it's okay, they can come back. But if it's something out of place, no, I'm not going to leave them up here. Because, you know, it's what happens is, Dina, welcome, Dina A, welcome to you. Because if you leave somebody up here that diminishes other people in any way, you're going to lose your friends. And number two, they're not going to respect you. And I want people to know that if they come up on my live stream, or if they are in my live stream, if they come up on my panel, that I'm going to protect them. You know, I'm not going to let someone bash them or say something bad and just sit here and lay back and, you know, try to get more views. No, that doesn't work with me. So my number one rule is be the host, and you make your rules, and you determine what your rules are, and you let people know. Okay? And don't put up with stuff that is not right on your channel. Don't do that. And have integrity. Your channel is a reflection of you. And how I judge my channel is, would my children and future grandchildren approve? Would I want them to see my channel? And what would they think of mom? And that is the most important thing. That's how I judge my channel. Can my kids watch this? And they can, because they've heard all this wisdom. They've been getting wisdom since they were little. And so my kids are wisdomed out. They're all adults now. So I have great kids. And so, yeah, that's my biggest piece of wisdom for people who are going to do live streams. Delicious Panda, welcome to you. Welcome. And Robert Mack from Asia, welcome to you. So how is everybody doing today on this beautiful, hot, muggy Sunday? I hope you're all doing really, really good. Happy Camper says I'm wonderful. Happy Camper, was it you that made the comment this morning that it was synchronicity? You were thinking what the video I put out, you know, I believe in synchronicity. I really do. I've had it happen so many times in my life. Philippine Island says, I'd wait till retire and keep going. No looking back. Enjoy life. Life is too short and enjoy every moment of it. That's how I feel since I retired in 2017. And that is so very true. You know, at 63 years old, I'm going to enjoy my life my way. I don't let anyone tell me what makes me happy. I know what makes me happy. And I don't need anyone to tell me that I should do something different, because I'm old enough to make my own mistakes, and I'm old enough to make my own decisions. Hey, Maria, welcome. Welcome. How's the weather, Maria? How's the weather there? Thank you, Maria. I feel younger. You know, I'm 29 forever. So my attitude age is 29, but my technical age is 63. And yes, my paintings are all mine. I have about, oh my gosh, hundreds of paintings that I've done, and they cover my house. And I don't even have, and I have a big house, and half of them are in the attic because we don't have room. And yeah, I love to paint. I paint all the time. We're in Florida, Renee says. I'm in the South Florida, and it's not raining. Well, rain is good until the humidity comes after, right? And so I like, you know what, for me, I love gloomy days. I love, love, love gloomy days. I really do. I really do. There's something about a gloomy day. I love being at home. You know, I'm very much of a homebody. And I love going out. I love doing things, but I love being at home. So on a gloomy day, I just love to stay home. Love to stay home. Jimbo says he wants to travel around on my future van. Jimbo, are you friends with my friend Van Life with Gina Payne? You might, she normally is a mod here, but I think she's doing a live right now too. Van Life with Gina Payne. You will love her. She lives in her van, and she does daily videos and daily lives, and she is amazing, absolutely amazing. And through me, she says, I connected her to the whole RV community, because we used to, my husband and I and my children, we had a motorhome. Welcome, Lori, welcome. And so when my kids were little, we traveled all around in this 40-foot bus, which is a big bus. It had air brakes, and I drove it. It had a kitchen, 2 bedrooms. It had a beautiful big sunken tub in the bathroom, and you drove it. It was a house on wheels. And so we took in 48 states with our children. And they were about, I would say, 9, 10, and 11 years old. We went Route 66 from one end to the other. And the Happy Camper says Gina does everything from soup to nuts on her channel. Absolutely. She's amazing. I love Gina. She is just, she's an amazing person. She's an amazing person. And so we traveled 48 states, and we just, it was wonderful. My best July 4th memory was we were on Route 66 down somewhere in the Midwest, somewhere on back roads, and they were shooting fireworks up in the air as we drove at night from town to town. We were on the road, on the highway, I think it was the Route 66, and we drove from town to town, and the fireworks were coming up, and my kids and I were all looking out of the back window of the motorhome while my husband was driving, and it was so wonderful, so wonderful. So, you know, I always say my retirement home is a motor home. Dutch Off-Grid Homesteading says, tell me which channel. I can put it in the chat. Thank you, Dutch. It's called Van Life. I think it's one word. Van Life is one word, with Gina, Gina, Payne, Payne. And we have, Brenda Land here. We have, everybody, please get to know each other here. I appreciate it if you get to know each other. I'm not a growth channel, but I'm all about growing. And yesterday I did Jimbo says, host, I always feel I'm still 18, although my body said no. And Happy Camper says, what a great way to spend wonderful time with your children. And the education is seeing actual places instead of a book. You're right, Happy Camper. And I homeschooled. All 3 of my children. And now two of them went back to school. My youngest son ended up in a public school program done at home, which was amazing. And he graduated with honors. And then he went, he's in college now. And he turned out just beyond amazing. And so I'm so grateful. Tutorials Dicus Nixon, welcome to you. Welcome. So, yeah, you have to find what works for you in life, and don't let someone else's dreams dictate your dreams. You can help people with their dreams, but remember, your dreams are your dreams. Your dreams don't have to look like mine. Mine might be a motorhome driving around the country. Yours might be a boat, or yours might be something totally different. Maybe you want to travel the world. And so everybody has different dreams. Lori's Crochet Corner 2, welcome. I didn't see you here. Oh, there you are. And thank you, Dutch. I appreciate that so much, so much. And anyone else that would like their link drop, Family Cruise, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Anyone who wants their link dropped, Dutch Off-Grid Homesteading will do it for you. Just put in the chat that you would like your link dropped. And, I'm very careful with mods. It's not that I'm trying to be suspicious or rude or anything like that, but I've had friends that have had issues. So I only give a few people the mod wrench because I'm not a growth channel. If I was a growth channel, I would give everybody a mod wrench. But because I'm not a growth channel, I usually have mods in here. I'm a everything channel. I'm a fried chicken channel. I'm a little bit of everything. And yeah, I'm a little bit of everything here. And but I'm mainly here to let other people come on here and share, if they're going through something, or I don't have answers. I don't give answers. I don't give suggestions. I don't do any of that. But it's a place of comfort. It's grandma's place and grandma's porch. Okay. And when I was growing up, I had a grandma, and she was a central figure in my life. She had a little tiny house out by the railroad tracks in a little town that only had 10 houses to it. It was a country town. They had a swimming hole, and the train actually had a caboose back then, and it would come by every hour and shake her house a little bit. And we would sit out on grandma's porch. And if we had a problem, we didn't go to a counselor or psychiatrist. Well, we couldn't afford it, but we didn't have them back then. We went to grandma's. And so we sat on grandma's porch and we solved our problems and everybody else's problems and the world's problems. And we laughed and we cried. And we just had so many wonderful memories on grandma's porch. So my porch is grandma's porch now, and I'm grandma. And I have a front porch, which you all don't often see, which I need to get out there more because it's beautiful out there as well. And so I love porches. I always say if you have a porch, you don't need therapy. At least in my opinion. If you've got a good front porch, often, you can solve so many problems on a front porch. And Shan, welcome. Shan Indian, welcome. Maria Vaughn is here. Thank you. My channel, because it's not a growth channel and because I don't advertise that I'm going to be on until like a few minutes before I'm going to be on. Sometimes most people end up watching this in replay. And that's another thing with YouTube. They don't promote my lives until 24 hours after I've done them. And then everybody comes on thinking it's live when it's not. So only a handful of people really get the notification for whatever the reason. So, you know, one of the things I got to thinking about too is when you share your story, we all have a story in life. I believe that we're born into the families, we're born into the locations, we're born into the situations for divine purpose. And, you know, I had a very traumatic childhood. I really did. And I turned out wonderful. I turned out wonderful because I'm a victor, not a victim. I never, ever, ever saw myself as a victim. I always saw myself as victorious. As a 6-year-old child, when I started writing, I would keep a notebook just like I do now. I have my notebook sitting there and I write all my notes down. I have all those notes. And my goal at 6 years old was to get Walt Disney to bring me to California, because we lived in a poor little town. We were poor people growing up. And we went to the courthouse steps and got our box of commodity food. We didn't have food stamps back then. Our car drove only in reverse because we had an old broke down car. So my 16-year-old brother and 5 or 6-year-old me would go in this car in reverse to the courthouse steps. We would pull over along the way so the cops wouldn't, you know, give us a ticket, but we would go in reverse all the way. And so I grew up with some trauma, not from being poor. Being poor is not traumatic. It actually made me who I am today. I'm a very hard worker, and I believe in working for what you get in life. And but there were things that happened. You know, my mother was married several times. I had a wonderful mother, but her choice in men was not always the best. And I had one particular stepfather. I had one great stepfather, one fantastic stepfather, but I had one stepfather who was an alcoholic. And at 6 years old, we would have to go sleep way out in the weeds at night until he slept off his drunk. So as a 6-year-old child, I had to determine if it was safe to go in the house because he could be violent. And so that was very traumatizing for a 6-year-old child to have to go through. And so my mom would tell me to go hide in the weeds, and then she would call me and tell me when to come in. So I would stay out in those weeds in the middle of the night until he fell asleep. And so as a child, that was very, very shattering. And so I had to go through all that. And then I went through some other things as well that were very traumatic. And but I made it through. You know, don't let your trauma be your drama ongoing. Don't let your trauma be your ongoing drama. And I see so many people that live their lives as victims. They're victims. They say, well, I can't succeed and I can't have a happy life because something happened to me. We all do get trauma if we live long enough. I believe at least most people I've known have had trauma of some kind. But don't let your trauma be your ongoing drama. And I'm going to do a video on that hopefully today when I get back from the gym. Don't let your drama be your ongoing, or don't let your trauma be your ongoing drama. And so remember that you don't want to let what happened to you make you weak, and so many people do. Polagata, welcome, welcome. Shani Indian and Gigi is here. Thank you, Gigi. Eat in Life Remix TV, Maria, Garita, thank you. And anyone else I missed, please, just put a comment in there and I will catch you at some point. So yeah, don't let your trauma be your drama. And, I know one person, her husband died many, 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 many years ago. And she still refers to herself ongoing as a widow. And she still refers to herself. That's her primary role in life and excuse in life for a wonderful person. But when we get caught into our past and we let that dictate our future, we're going to not do very well, in my opinion. But I believe that God puts us in situations. You know, he put me in that situation growing up, not to be a victim, but to be a victor, so that I could go through life and help people. And, you know, I've touched many, many people's lives in my life as a result of what I've been through. And there were other things that I've been through that people, you know, I don't want to say they love me because of what I've been through. That's kind of a poor choice of words, but they come to me and feel safe and comfortable with me because I understand. And so if you come to my channel, you're going to see that I embrace everybody who comes here with a good spirit. I don't say, well, you know, you're not at the same political side as I am, or you're not, you know, you're this or you're that. I don't do that. I look at people's hearts. I look at their souls. And that's what's most important to me, is what is a person like. And so remember, no matter what you've been through or what you're going through, don't let it determine your future in a negative way. Let it determine your future in a positive way. Let it push you forward. Use it in a positive way. When my daughter took sick 2 years ago, suddenly sick, she's fine now, but it was very, very, very touch and go. She was moments from not being here. And it was a birth defect that had never been detected. She'd never been sick. And every day is a new beginning, Jimbo says, especially during tough times. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely, Jimbo. Absolutely. And so, you know, when she went through that, it came just suddenly. It was a suddenly. Okay, it was a suddenly. And our lives here was turned upside down. I was 2 hours away, back and forth, driving to be at her hospital bed. Remember, I'm in my 60s. I'm not 25. I was carrying big suitcases through long, dark tunnels at this university hospital, and sleeping in a hard chair at night, night after night, and being there, woke up every hour by the doctors and nurses and machines that would go off. And we went through a lot of trauma. It was very traumatic. As a matter of fact, I have to tell you, for the next year, I kept a packed bag next to my front door that if I had to go to the hospital with her again, I would go. It was kind of a trauma PSD type of thing, because I was scared it was going to happen again. But she had major life-saving surgery that we did not know how she was going to come through. She was 18 at the time, 18 or 19 at the time. And she came through it. She's doing fine. She's working. She's doing fine. But it was very, very scary for a mom. And she took it better than I did. And then suddenly happened to me 10 years ago. And most of you know this story. Renee says, I want to start painting. I need a brush holder for my paintbrushes. Any advice for beginners? You know, Renee, I've never had a lesson. I've never been given a lesson. My husband and my 3 little children were down in Texas living. We went to Salado, Texas, and they had all these real expensive paintings for like $5,000 for a little tiny painting. And I said to my husband, I said, you know what? I'm going to go home and I'm going to learn how to paint. So we went home. I put the kids in a Walmart shopping cart, wheeled them around, put all the paints and brushes, not knowing what I was doing. And I taught myself how to paint. And so 20 years later, I'm still painting every day, still never a lesson. And people love my paintings. So it can be done. It can be done. Thank you, Garita. Thank you. Garita, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Much love to you. Thank you so much. So a year ago, or not a year ago, 10 years ago, I'm going to tell you a little story that's very interesting. And you know how animals, I believe, can sense things that we don't sense. My husband and boys were off on a Boy Scout camping trip. So it was just my daughter and I at home. This is in a different house and in a different state, actually. And so what basically happened, Rose Jane, welcome, welcome. And Jason, welcome to you. Thank you. So what happened was I was talking to a friend about 10 o'clock at night. And I said, you know what? I think my daughter is up. Let me go check on her. And so I put the phone down. I went around the corner and there was this huge, huge animal possum on the third step down, staring at me, and it would not budge. It would not budge. I thought my daughter was going to be there, and here is this animal that was staring me down. It was so frightening. So I clapped my hands real hard, and it ran back up. We never saw that animal again. I don't know where it went. I don't know how it got into the house. And about 3 or 4 days later, the next day I woke up in the middle of the night and I was choking. I couldn't catch my breath. Never had that happen. So I called my sister, and she was always up during the middle of the night. She was a night owl. And so I always knew I could call her. And so she said, well, you're probably having an anxiety attack. I said, I don't have anxiety. And if I did, I've had more anxiety, in my life, and I've never had this happen. So we chalked it up to some kind of anxiety. I didn't know what kind it was, but we chalked it up. So my husband got back. Welcome, Eskaya. Welcome. Thank you so much. Eskaya has a wonderful channel. So you all want to go to her channel. Dutch, if you can drop her link, I appreciate it. And remember, anyone who wants their link dropped, Dutch will do that for you. He's a wonderful moderator. Thank you, Dutch. And so my husband got back with the boys, and I had a pain in my back, like someone was pushing their thumb in my back. So I woke up in the morning and I said, you know what, honey, I'm going to go back to bed. Let me grab my coffee, and I'm going to go back upstairs and go to bed. My back is bothering me. Never had back problems. And all of a sudden, I'm down on the floor. I'm cold and clammy. My husband and my 3 children are standing over me. They're shaking. My husband's shaking me, trying to wake me up. And I had passed out. Immediately after that, my whole body was shaking. I had to go. We had a mother-in-law suite that I had to go into. And I just laid down on that bed. My leg would not stop quivering. Long story short, there's so many details to this and so many other symptoms that came over the next couple of months. Went to 17 doctors. They could not figure it out. No one could figure out what was wrong with me. And I was getting sicker and sicker. My husband had come up here to this state, which is still a southern state. And his work was up here now. We were moving a year later after my children. One of them was still in school. I was homeschooling the other 2. And we were remodeling the house there. And so I couldn't leave, but I was sick, raising small children, and I was sick. I didn't let them know I was sick. And so every day I did my mom duties, but I was in really bad shape, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So over Thanksgiving, my husband came down for Thanksgiving, was 6 hours away, and he was there with the kids. And I was so sick. I remember putting the Christmas tree up over Thanksgiving weekend, and it would take me 10 minutes to put one bulb on because I'd have to sit down. I was so weak. And then I would get up, put another bulb on, and I would have to sit back down for 10 minutes. So I decided I was going to drive myself in the middle of the night to the ER, and I figured they'd send me back home because that's what they did before, because no one could figure it out. 16 doctors. And so I pulled in there, sat in the parking lot at 5 a.m., deciding whether I should go in or just go back home. So I went in and I said, I think I'm having a stroke. And they said, why do you think you're having a stroke? I said, well, 2 weeks before this, my mother, who had passed, who loved me dearly, had come to me in a dream. And she saw me with a shaved head. They shaved my head, partly shaved my head, and I was on a gurney. And she was all upset because the doctors were not taking me into surgery quick enough. So I told them my mother came to me and she told me I had a lesion on the left side of the brain. Doctor number 17, ER doctor, young doctor, put me in a CAT scan. Never had I had a CAT scan. And so he put me into the CAT scan, and it was horrible. I hate the CAT scan because I'm claustrophobic. So I went back and I was telling the woman that was running the CAT scan, I said, you know, my mom came to me in a dream and she told me this. And the woman was amazed, but she never told me what she saw on the CAT scan. So back we went, this is 10 years ago, to the ER, and I figured I was getting ready to go home. And the doctor said, ma'am, we have to keep you. Your mother said you had a lesion on the left side of your brain. You have a lesion on the left side of your brain. So immediately I thought cancer, because that was what lesion meant to me, cancer. He said, no, it's not. He said, you broke a vessel in your brain. You're lucky to be alive. Most people die or are in a wheelchair, but you're walking around. There I was all those months walking around with a brain bleed. So we're going to go back for a few months. A few months before that, I was homeschooling, and we had a mother-in-law suite, and I often went through the mother-in-law suite to get to the office part where I homeschooled. My kids were asking me a question, and I was in another room. The mother-in-law suite was darkened. My husband had his suits hung in there on wooden hangers. And as I was rushing through that room, the mother-in-law suite, I ran face into the wooden hanger. It was wedged. It went into my eye. It's a wonder I still have 20/20 vision, and it didn't, hurt my eye. That was back when that famous actress was in a ski accident, hit her head, and died. And and Sonny Bono had died the same way from blunt trauma. So my first thought then was, I'm going to die, because it was so forceful. It knocked me to the floor. But I got up. I ended up at the dentist that day. They broke my tooth. I had to go for emergency surgery in the same day on my tooth. I mean, what a day. So that was 3 or 4 months before I ended up getting sick. So what we believe is when I hit that wooden hanger, it had busted a vessel. And I could have died, but I didn't. So during that time, I was so sick, I packed up big boxes and labeled them with all my children's baby mementos and put all their baby mementos into these boxes and labeled it. And I said, don't open till you're 30, because I didn't want them to lose that. That was when I started my YouTube channel, about that time. And I started my YouTube channel not for public. It was purely for my children. I wanted them to have my wisdom accessible to them. So all those 5,000 videos that you go back and you see that are made public, those were really only for my children. They weren't tagged, they weren't titled, they weren't promoted. So no one saw them, but anyone that went to my channel to see, and that was for family and friends. And so I began churning these videos out, making the boxes up for the kids, because I didn't know if I was going to live. And I wanted my children to have my wisdom. That was my gift to them. So my YouTube channel originated then. Then in January of this year is when I came public. And I think I had about 200 family and friends on there. And now y'all know I'm past 7K in 6 months. And I'm, it's just, I make daily videos. So I have been through my trauma. I'm fine now. I run 5 miles a day. I'm a workout machine. I'm healthy. I'm fit. But I do know what it's like to face death. I do know what it's like to have a family member face death. I do know what it's like to be a caregiver to an elderly parent, because I was a caregiver to my mother, who had severe Parkinson's and then ALS. I took care of her in her latter days. So I know the stresses of doing that. So when I come on here with my wisdom, and your story may look different than my story, and my story may look different than your story, but we all have a story. Okay, we all have a story. And when we share it with the right people, we can often help them heal. And when we share our story, we heal. Not everyone is going to embrace our story. Some people will leave us when they know our story. But when they leave us, the right people enter. So just remember, you have a story. I have a story. My story is not better than yours, and it's not less than yours. Our stories are equal because, well, we all have one. So somebody needs your story. Somebody out there needs your story. Just like somebody probably may hear my story and say, wow, I went through that, or I'm going through that, and I'm here. I'm here every day churning out videos, doing live streams, all of that. So now you know that I'm more than this superficial Barbie doll mama or Barbie's grandma. Now they call me Barbie's grandma. When I was younger, they used to call me a Barbie doll, like when I was in my 20s and 30s, and now they call me, I'm Barbie's grandma. Welcome, Rose. And Winshi, welcome. I don't have my glasses on, but yeah. So we all have a story. And if you don't have a story, if you live long enough, you're going to have a lot of stories. Okay. And you also learned, I've known so many people, and I've learned so much. Now, what about the good things that happened to me in life? Oh my gosh. I grew up poor. My goal was to get to California. I told y'all I wrote Walt Disney, a letter. Well, when I was about 17, I left home on my own, rented a $9 a week apartment. And that's a whole nother video. It's kind of a fun story to tell about the man in the trench coat and why my mom came and grabbed me up and took me home. And, but I ended up in California. And long story short, I went to college out there. And I ended up in LA, and I ended up with a fabulous job. Remember, I was a poor town girl from some small southern-like town. Now I'm living in the big Hollywood area, and I got to meet everybody. And I met people that other movie stars never got to meet. And so that's a whole nother video, and whole other videos. I have to tell you all the story. And if you actually go back on some of my videos, I've told these stories before. And so I don't kiss and tell, especially after 30 years of marriage. But I dated some very, very interesting people. And I got to work in the TV studios and all of that. So it was a very fascinating journey. Then God took me away from all that. And I married the love of my life. And 3 children later, and world traveling. And now we're just settled down. And I'm a 63-year-old mom who goes to college. So you never know where life is going to take you. You don't know. You don't know. But you've got to keep that positive spirit about you going. And you've got to keep believing that you'll get through whatever you're going to go through. Whatever you go through in life, you can get through it. Okay? And so now you know a little bit more about me and the American Wanderer is here. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Miley's Journey. Welcome. Anuka. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. And if you all miss my storytelling, go back and rewind this after it's over and listen, because this is a very, it's very personal. I came on here to talk about your live stream channel and how to do it, but it ended up also being a story about my life. And so let your story enhance your life. Don't let it hold you back. Like I said, don't let your trauma be your ongoing drama. And don't live in your trauma, but let it push you forward to be the best you that you know how to be. And I am. People that know me in person, I am just like what you see. I'm warm, I'm loving, I'm hospitable, I'm kind, I'm thoughtful, but I'm smart. I don't put up with anything. Someone was talking about me on a live stream about a week ago, and they said, you know what, she's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, but don't mess with her. Because I got that from Grandma. You didn't mess with Grandma. She would be real sweet to you, but you did not mess with Grandma. And so don't mess with Grandma. And yeah. So, Dee at Spectra, welcome, Dee. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know how much I'm going to do live streams. I love doing them, but my life is going to get really, really busy in August. And, I'll be taking 16 units of hard college courses. Each one is very hard. Each one is like a whole, bunch of classes rolled into one. And so I'll be starting up. So I'll be probably, behind the books and classes most of my day, except for when I go to the gym or run. And so how many live streams I do, I don't know. I will do my 5-minute videos. They may be from college, but kind of like when I started in January, I was a 62-year-old college student, and that was what my channel was sort of about. And so if I can go back to college at 62 years old and now 63 and do it, there's hope for everybody. So, but yeah. Let me get my glasses on here. You had an amazing journey, sis host, says Philippine Islands, Diana Brienne Fairchild, and still keep going. You're inspiring to listen to. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mileage, you will meet great people each time you come to my channel. I have people that want to live their best life. I have people here. People don't stay on my channel if they want bickering, if they want fighting, if they want politics. They don't stay here, because that's not what my channel is. I am not everybody's cup of tea, but I am someone's glass of champagne. So, the people here are here because they want to be, thank you, Iskia, Esika, I think it is. Isika, thank you. And she has an amazing channel. You've got to go to her channel. Yeah, and Anuka says, if Diana Brienne Fairchild can do it, what makes you think you can't? Absolutely. You can overcome anything you go through in life, and you can turn it around for your blessing. I believe that through whatever we go through, there's a blessing hidden inside of it. But most people don't look for the blessing. They just want to complain. I don't hang with complainers. I hang with people that are inspirational, that will get me up and motivated. Thank you, Rose Jane. Rose Jane says, you are so inspirational, Diana Brienne Fairchild. Thank you, Rose Jane. I think everyone is inspirational. It's just some people hold back. They don't think they're inspirational, and they don't share who they are. We're all inspirational. We all have our own way of inspiring. I'm unique. You want to be uniquely you. You don't want to be a copy of anybody else. You want to be you. And you don't want someone else's story, because you're not going to have someone else's story. You're going to have your story. So you get busy being the best you that you know how to be. You can admire other people. You can pick up some of their qualities, but yet you want to make it your own. You don't want to be a copy of someone else. When I was growing up, I had a woman, I called her Aunt Pat. Now, Aunt Pat was a neighbor. She was from Texas. And Aunt Pat, hey, welcome, Sarah. Welcome. And thank you, Miley's. And thank you, Dutch, so much for what you're doing. I appreciate you. And so growing up, Aunt Pat, she drove a big car, a big flashy car. And she had this Texas twang. And she had all these little sayings like, do tell, I'll think on it. She had such style and such class. And I just wanted to be Aunt Pat. I wanted to be around her all the time. Welcome, welcome, Off-Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. Hello, Diana Brienne Fairchild. I shared you out to the community page. Thank you, thank you. Everyone, you want to go to Off-Grid Desert Farming. Dutch, can you put them in for me? I would appreciate that. Yes, you're right, Jimbo. I totally agree with what you just said. You will love Adrian and Paul. They come on nightly. They let you know. Now, their channel is very different than mine, and yet they inspire as well. They talk about politics. They talk about the world events. They talk about farming. They talk about the Bible. They talk so many different subjects, but they are one of the channels that when I see them pop up, I go directly to their channel and I stop everything and I listen. And when I miss their video, I go back and watch it in replay. And they are an amazing channel. You will love them. And Off-Grid, if you didn't see the earlier part, you may want to go back and watch this video. I shared a lot of my life, what I've been through, the things I've been through, and we've all got a story. And so I shared that. I shared everything from brain aneurysm to my daughter's surgery, to my childhood, to my LA days, all of that. And so if you would like to go back later and watch, I think you might very well enjoy it. And so, yeah, and your look, your own look, you've got your own unique look. You don't need to look like anybody else but you. The most important thing is you take care of your body and you take care of what you've got. And you want to be healthy so that you can be there to complete your divine assignment and your divine purposes in your life. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing that you can do. One of the other things, someone asked me the other day, if behind me is a backdrop, no, this is my kitchen. This whole area here is my kitchen. And those double doors there are grandma's porch out there, but it's too hot to leave the doors open right now, so I don't have the doors open. That's one of grandma's couches, and it's quite a few years old, and I have one that's 100 years old. And my house is laced in antiques. I have a 1922 radio with all the original wires and parts that still works. It's a floor model, the first year they ever came out with home radios, 1922. It looks like the Waltons. It weighs about 300 pounds. And how I bought it was I went to Michelle, welcome to you. Thank you for being here. Another great channel, Michelle Sliper. Please, Dutch, if you can drop her link, I would appreciate that. Or I think she can drop her own link because she's a mod too. So thank you. Yeah, my 1922, I've done videos on that. So you have to go back on my videos and like type in antiques, grandma's antiques, Diana Brienne, and you'll see it. I have 4 clocks that you normally hear bonging and donging in the background when I do my videos. And those are all over 100 years old. One is 140. They made it through the European World War I, World War II. Then I have this organ and my radio still plays. It still plays. It only gets one channel, but it still plays. You can get a scratchy channel on it. Then I have an organ, a pump organ that came from France, and it came over on a boat, went to a saloon, ended up in a church, somehow ended up in an old lady's house here where I live. And then she donated it, or her kids donated it, and I bought it. So I have this big organ that works wonderfully, and it's like 150 years old. And then I have 2 old-fashioned crank Victrolas with the old-fashioned records. I have hundreds of the old-fashioned records. One is 1922 and one is 1919. The interesting thing was I was living down in Texas, and I took my 3 little kids and we drove to a town about an hour away. I went to an antique shop there, and I bought these 2. I put them in my Expedition, and we loaded it in the back. My kids were really little then, and so I had to load these in my Expedition myself, bringing them home. And right before, after I bought them, I said to the lady, I said, what years are these old Victrolas? And she said 1922 and 1919. The year my father was born was 1919, and the year my mother was born was 1922. Isn't that amazing? So I collect antiques, and I love, love, love antiques. And Grandma had antiques, so I have these old couches and old Victrolas, and my house is like a museum. People think it's a museum when they come in here. It's like the Addams Family. Beth, welcome. Beth Helsano is here. Thank you. Thank you. Jimbo says, that's true. That's why they inspired me. They have no clue, though. That's why, like host said, each person are special, and we can inspire others no matter what our circumstances are. I look at people's hearts. Those are the people that inspire me. Last night, I had Un on here, Undel. And if you can drop her link, Michelle or Dutch, I would appreciate it. It's UNNDEL. It's 2 words, UNNDEL. She is a lady who does a growth channel, but I went on there because she inspires. She goes on there and she has the most warm, loving, caring, oh my gosh, you will love this woman. You will absolutely fall in love with this woman. She is just amazing. And so she was on my channel last night on my live stream. And I think she was on yesterday too with me, or the day before, I can't remember. And so I have great channels on here. I have 7, let's see, I'm at 7,250 or something like that. And even though my channel has built very quickly in 6 months, I have to tell you that the channels that are on here are amazing. And so when you see people come here to the live stream, you likely need to check them out, because you will probably love their channel, because people don't stay here unless they are of a positive nature. The entire universe vibrate and resonate similar way and with different frequencies. It's all connected both ways, directly or indirectly. I agree. I agree, Anuka. I agree. Oh, I guess Noni May is here. See, I am not seeing people in the stream. So I'm not seeing everybody. I'm only seeing some people. So there's 2 different streams. There's the one on YouTube, and then there's the one on StreamYard. And I don't see the YouTube one when I'm on StreamYard. I only see the one on StreamYard. So some of your comments, if I have missed you, it's because I don't see you. Okay. But anyone who would like to come up with me, you're very, very welcome. I will put the link in now if you want to say hello. And I'm going to tell you my only, Davy Crockett, welcome, welcome. Anyone can come up for a couple minutes and shout out their channel. And the only rule that I have, and I'm going to tell you again, because I did this in the very beginning, if you go back and replay and you can listen to the whole spiel, is I'm very strict with my guidelines. If you're new, people that's been here, they know my guidelines. You've got to be positive. You can't say anything that's divisive. You can't, say anything to offend somebody. And you're very welcome to come up and shout out your channel and say hello. I put the link in there. And pretty much, I would say 99 and 9/10% of the people are amazing and wonderful. But I do get some trolls, and I do get some people that are a little, in my opinion, off center. And those people, it just happens when you're public, and especially if you let people up that you have not, got to know first. Sometimes things are unpredictable, but like I said, immediately they're removed if they're disrespectful in any way. So you're always welcome to come up for a couple minutes and share out the screen with me and shout out your channel. I love that when people do that. B13 is here. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, B13. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. So yeah, your channel is your channel. I talked about yesterday fishing, and we ended up getting a man on here who fished, and he thought it was a fishing channel because YouTube promoted my live stream as a fishing channel. But his question that he had about his fishing pole got answered by, I think it was JB answered his question. And Musi Jamas, welcome. Welcome to you. Metal Music, welcome. And so you never know what you're going to get here. But I talked about fishing. If you fish in your own pond, you're not going to grow, okay? But if you want to grow, you sometimes have to go to other ponds to grow. And that doesn't mean if you're married, you go to somebody else. We're not talking about that kind of growing. We're talking, when you're married, you're committed. And you're committed to work on the relationship to make it the best relationship. And so what happens is, if you want to grow in your life, sometimes what you need is not where you're at. And so it doesn't mean you leave where you're at, but sometimes you have to go. When I worked in LA, I lived at one point in Palm Springs. Now, Palm Springs was 2.5 hours away from LA. I loved Palm Springs, but I loved my job in LA. So I had to leave Palm Springs and go to LA for what I wanted. And yet I went back to Palm Springs, so I went back and forth. So I had to go to a different pond to get what I wanted. And one of the things you have to remember is you don't have to go to a big pond to catch a lot of fish. Often you can catch more fish in a small pond than you can in a big pond. Okay? And so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But sometimes you have to go fishing in a different pond. And so I do that in life. If I want something, if you want a great doctor, you may have to travel a little bit to find that great doctor. Or if you want a great store, we live in a golfing community full of old people, and it's wonderful. But if we want to go shopping, we have to drive about an hour away to find any kind of really good shopping because we don't have it here. And so, sometimes you have to go somewhere else to get what you want. Okay. So let me put my glasses back on. And if no one's going to come up with me today, probably in a few minutes, I'm going to go. I might go to the gym today. And Rose Jane is here. McGee TV is here. We have Jimbo here. Iduz, a vlog is here. Thank you, thank you. And so anyone that I missed, didn't purposefully miss you. It either didn't come here in my stream over here, or I just didn't see you because I didn't have my glasses on. So there's my son. And at least they're not in underwear, right? Robert Mack in Asia. Thank you, Robert, for coming. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Well, does anyone want to come up and shout out their channel before I go? Anyone would like to? And I want to let you all know I have been coming on. I'm not saying I'm going to come on every night. I might come on tonight. I might not. But I've been coming on at 10 o'clock at night on Grandma's porch. I'm actually out on Grandma's porch because my whole family's home and here at night. And so I go do it on Grandma's porch. And so if I do one at 10 tonight, you're welcome to jump on. Clarissa, thank you so much. Thank you, Clarissa. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, Off Grid, Paul and Adrian. Thank you so much. Thank you. I have many, many more paintings here. And like I said, Off Grid Desert Farming, you will love. You will absolutely love. And Dutch, did you put your own link in, or maybe Michelle can put your link in for you, and vice versa? Make sure Michelle's link is in here too. Yeah, that's true. Metal music. That's true. Yeah. So, hey, honey.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna drop off my movies.
Okay, go drop off your movies. He likes to drive my convertible. I have a convertible, and I don't drive it because I drive my truck. I don't feel, with all the crazy drivers anymore. Pam, it's welcome, Pam. Thank you for coming here. Thank you, B. Thank you. I have 3 kids, by the way, not just one. I have 3, and so I have this convertible and I love it, but we have crazy drivers in this small town, not the old people, but we get people from the surrounding areas that kind of come in and they go really fast and oh my gosh. So I drive a big, huge truck, and that's what I drive because I feel so much safer in it. And I just feel so much safer. Thank you, Iskia. Thank you. I'm a loving person. And I think when you're loving, love will come back to you. People ask me, how did you get all the love in your life that you have? Very easy. Very, very easy, because I'm loving. If you want love in your life, and love comes in many forms and many shapes and sizes. If you want love in your life, then what you need to do is be loving. Be loving. Send love out to the world. Send kindness out to the world, and love will find you. It will stalk you. It will come to you. It will knock on your door. Love will find you when you're busy being loving. What you give out to the world will come back to you. People say, how did your channel grow 7K in 5 months? I said, because you know what? All along the way, I helped people. The first thing I did when I got on, share them out. And my channel grew on its own. Did I work hard? Yes, I did. But it grew on its own as well. And because I was out helping other people. What you give out, good or bad, will come back to you. You give out bad, it's going to come back to you. You give out good, it's going to come back to you. Okay? So remember that what you give out will come back to you. Okay? Well, I'm thinking, now I'm not sure of this because normally I go to the gym. I did my 5-mile run. So I'm thinking I'm going to the gym and I'm going to go do my hour on the elliptical and do the machines. Today they don't have aerobics. So I think I'm going to the gym, and then I think I'm going to make a nice dinner for my family, healthy foods. So Mojo channel, welcome and thank you. And please watch and replay. And I will tell you that most people see this within 24 hours after it's complete. That's when I get promoted out. For some reason, I have no idea. I have no idea why it happens like that. So, and Renee, thank you so much for being here the whole time. And whoever was here the whole time, I thank you. And whoever just stopped on, I thank you. I thank all of you for being here. Well, I might be on tonight at 10 o'clock outside on Grandma's porch. I'm not going to promise, but I'll put out a notice beforehand if I do. And so that would be 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time if I do come on. Okay. Well, thank you all. Thank you, my moderators, Dutch and Michelle and Brenda. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. And how do we do it? We stand up and we look in the camera or in the computer and we say, from my house to your house, may God bless you. And I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.